I have never seen a movie like this in my entire life.
I know you're scared, but you're okay.
We're talking about the 2025 indie charmer, as Joe likes to say, Sorry Baby. Written, directed, and starring the unimaginably talented Eva Victor in her directorial debut.
Wow.
It also stars Naomi Ackie and Lucas Hedges, amongst others. This is our spoiler-free section, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, you're safe. I will let you know when we're heading into spoiler territory. Also, there's going to be a disclaimer at the top of this episode. Before we begin the conversation, this discussion will include some discussion of sexual assault. It's a central theme in the film that we're reviewing. And while we approach this topic with as much care and respect as we can, we understand that it may be upsetting or triggering to some listeners. So if the subject is difficult for you, please feel free to skip this episode or come back to it when you're ready. With that being said, shall we begin?
Let's do this.
So for those who don't know, Sorry Baby is about a young woman named Agnes who is navigating the aftermath of a traumatic experience that she has during one of her semesters in college. As of right now, the film sits at a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb with an 87 Metascore and a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Are those scores justified? We're about to find out.
Yes, we are.
Did you know that one of the producers on this film, Barry Jenkins, whom we know from Moonlight, the director, first discovered Eva Victor on Instagram?
I did not know that.
Jenkins loved her comedic content and later messaged her saying she can send over scripts to his production company, Pastel, if she ever writes anything.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
To be discovered in that way.
Wow.
She's a comedian. She's been on Comedy Central, and she had been in shows and doing all sorts of stuff. So it's not like, I don't want to make it out to seem like she was like an Instagram influencer. That's not at all the case. She was a well-known comedian and actress at the time, but she just had these funny skits that she would do on Instagram, and he liked them, so he followed her. And then I saw Eva say in an interview that Jenkins saw her as a director before she even saw herself as one. And since he later added that her comedic work on social media is directing, even if she didn't see it as that.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine...
It's very cool.
Imagine somebody just randomly, discovers you off of these videos. Like, that would be bizarre.
Yes, please.
yeah, that'd be great. That best case scenario.
Totally.
That guy Joe's got, something. He's got something. So I am so sorry to this guy that I'm about to out here, but there's an actor in the film who plays the professor, the one who commits the sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
So his real name in real life is Louis Cancel Me.
Come on.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Probably not. It's probably
something.
Cancel Me. But that is just kind of like, I mean, if you're the guy in the film that's playing like a sexual assaulter and your last name is Cancel Me, that's tough. That's a tough. I hope that's not a stage name. Funny. That'd be a rough one.
Can sell me maybe, but
can sell me.
I don't know.
It's just funny to look at. When I first was looking at the cast, I went, no, there's no way, right?
Yeah, it's too appropriate.
It's too fitting to what. So sorry, brother. You did great in the film, and
yeah, you did.
This is not a reflection of you as a person
or an actor.
Certainly not
at all.
Yeah. Just a crazy coincidence, we'll say. So, as tradition, Joe, let's start with what we liked about this film.
Okay, then.
I want to start with you.
Oh.
I want to start with what you enjoyed about the film Sorry Baby.
I could contrast it to one of the episodes that you and I shot recently, which was of Jurassic World Rebirth. This felt like the opposite end of the spectrum because it felt really personal. It felt quiet. It felt real. I bought it completely. At times it almost felt like a documentary. Like I almost felt like I was just watching this woman living her life and trying to cope with the trauma that she had. And it was the sparseness at times I struggled with. But then as the movie went on, I thought how appropriate that we are seeing the sparseness because of how she's feeling inside.
Can you elaborate on sparseness?
Just the English building itself, and it was winter, so there are no leaves in the trees, and the way it was shot, it wasn't like there was vivid color. I felt like the palette was relatively pale, and again shot in winter, and so yeah, no leaves, no green.
I got it. The sparseness of it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And
so that you struggled with a little bit?
I did, because it's like, is this a real place? And there were aspects of it that I'm like, where's the heart of this movie? And it took me some time to kind of find that. And once I did, and once I felt dialed into it, and once I understood more of what she was going through, I thought this sparseness of it is so spot on.
So purposeful.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so you enjoyed the film?
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was really well done.
As opposed to our, as you mentioned, experience of another film.
Huge contrast.
Huge contrast. Yeah, totally. It's so funny that we saw these. We always do this. We always have movies that are the complete polar opposite of each other. Like it doesn't. We don't plan that. It just works out that way. And that was like so funny when I had seen this earlier in the week, and then I saw Jurassic World last night, and I was like, boy, we really couldn't. We really took one from here and one from here, and you know, the opposite ends of the spectrum, and put them, which to me is cool because it gives me a reference point for both.
Yeah,
like
it does.
having seen, I wonder what the experience would have been had I seen Sorry Baby after Jurassic. Like I wonder how my experience would have differed.
Which I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Jurassic in the morning. I saw Sorry Baby in the afternoon.
In the same day?
Yeah, yesterday.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So you had a different experience. I saw Sorry Baby first. You saw Jurassic World first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating.
And that's, I think, part of what I would have really enjoyed this movie anyway. But to have that contrast of the two, I was like, this feels so personal, and there is so much care that goes into this, and it doesn't have the $180 million budget, and yet they're doing something that is really moving me and really engaging me, and something I completely believe. And, you know, those actors are making, you know, 100th of what the actors made on the Jurassic World Rebirth movie, and yet they're giving it, they're bringing it.
It's something about when you really care. Yeah. And when we talked about this, when people are phoning it in, you could tell. I think audiences don't like to be bullshitted, and they can sense it, and we can feel it. We can feel when someone's phoning it in, the disingenuine.
You are exactly right. And that's part of what, again, going back to Jurassic Park, it agitated me because I felt like I was being bullshitted.
Yeah.
And this movie, no way. Like, to me, it was, things are just stripped away.
It was just so honest.
And it was. And she, even though she's an English professor, she also had a really difficult time articulating how she felt, what she was going through.
Which is great.
And you could feel that discomfort.
Yeah. That disconnect.
And that disconnect, which was fascinating to see, because that's her job, is to express and to appreciate how others express and communicate. And yet she couldn't do it.
Yeah, which is such a brilliant choice to have that be her profession as the character.
Yeah.
It's just such a great move.
Agreed.
I thought this movie was brilliant, honest, genuine, personal, moving.
Yes.
The cast was wonderful. The tone and pacing were spot on. It was very grounded. Something we talked about with, we're going to keep referencing, but let's just say blockbuster films.
Okay.
Sometimes in blockbuster films, it can feel, it's not tied to anything. It doesn't have any
mooring.
Yes, it doesn't have its hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
It's not
Good way to put
grounded.
it.
And this movie felt so much the opposite of that, where I felt so grounded in reality. That's how people talk. That's how people act. That's how people move. It so felt like honest and true. So it made
Yes.
me believe it so much.
Yes.
It's such a personal story and such a personal journey that we watch this character go on that I could relate and I could connect to
Totally
it.
agree. There wasn't a sour note if you think about it. Like
Yeah.
all reactions, all lines, all words said just felt genuine and right on and real. And my bullshit meter never went off.
Totally.
Not once.
Eva, the director and writer and star, had such a grasp on what she wanted to say, the story she wanted to tell. I felt it in every beat. I felt it in the cut, in the edit. I felt it in the cinematography. I felt it in the movements of the characters and the casting and everything. I just felt at every beat that she had a grasp on exactly what she wanted to say. And that came across so clear to me.
Me too. Just as you're saying that, one of the scenes that I thought was so well done was we're outside of the professor's house and she's gone in. And we get the passage of time, and then we see how she leaves.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a word said. You didn't need a word said. That
You're
was so beautifully done.
You're totally right. The passage of time. It was so unique. And so, again, just having that grasp really came through.
Yeah.
I loved the deadpan delivery. That's something that I really enjoy. I enjoy like a Fleabag and those sorts of comedic delivery. So this movie
really
had
good
me
with that.
laughing out loud
Yeah.
plenty of times.
Yeah.
A lot of the things I found funny. Now, I will say it wasn't perfect in my eyes. There were a couple of things that I had some issues with, but they were very small in comparison. The ending, I was a little bit iffy about. You know, I loved that that's the title of the movie, and
It took us all that way to get to
it. We get the like the bookend, the button on the end of it, but it just felt abrupt to me. Mm-hmm. It felt like I didn't really get a lot of closure. It felt like it ended, and I went, "Oh,
exactly."
Okay.
That's a really good point, because we didn't get to see how she's really dealing with this, and if things are going to change a little bit for her, if she's been able to process it, get any help, do whatever she needs to do to get herself unstuck.
Yeah, totally.
We don't know that.
Right.
It's a good point.
And the other thing, again, it's a small thing, but how villainous the Natasha character was. The one, like, if you've seen the movie, she's kind of like the butt of every joke, and like she just didn't have a good quality about her. Everything about her was just awful. And I thought that's not really reflective of how people are in life. Like I want some sort of redeemable quality, just one even, for me to like, oh, she's like a real human. It felt like a caricature of this person who's like just evil in every aspect of the way. You know what I mean?
I do. And you're right. And that, after saying every note was spot on and real, that's a good point. Maybe that was one that wasn't, because she was so relentless.
It was just every scene, every word that came out of her mouth was just horrid. And I was like, what is this person? What happened to this poor person that they're just this evil, just...
I know my brain is searching for, did she have any redeeming scenes or lines or anything?
Never once.
I'm not coming up with anything.
Yeah,
that's a really good
that was
point.
another thing that just, and then again, that's such a small thing, but it's just something that I couldn't, we'll get to our review here in a second, but I couldn't give it, that
enough.
extra oomph
Fair
because of these small little things here,
Yeah.
Was there anything specific you didn't like? We talked about what we liked. I gave what I didn't like. Is there anything specific you didn't like about the film? Hey, that's a pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good indication,
exactly.
Right there.
Because I'm really having to think about it.
And don't feel like you have to. If there's nothing that comes to mind, then I love that.
Nothing does come to mind.
I love that.
No.
Then let's see if our stars align, shall we?
Okay. All right.
So
You want to guess mine first?
Oh, okay. I think you gave it 4 stars.
I did.
Okay. All right. 4 stars.
I think you gave it 4 stars as well.
I gave it 4 stars, Joe.
Wow.
Our stars have aligned again.
Wow.
We're pretty similar in the ways that we
are.
I think see movies and are affected by movies. So it doesn't at all surprised me that we're usually aligned.
Yeah, we are.
I wonder, the folks out there listening,
Oh, I would love to hear that.
did your stars align?
How many stars out of 5
Would you give it
Would you give it?
on Letterboxd? And did it affect you? Did it move you? Was there anything you didn't like?